Once again, we turn our focus to GCA 3, and I'd like to speak with Stuart Calder from the Manifold Heights Cricket Club. And Stu, taking over the reins of the mighty Sharks this season, how have you found the transition and joining up with a new bunch of guys? No doubt you knew quite a few of them before you started, but obviously essentially a new playing list, and it must be very enjoyable so far.
Yeah, absolutely. G'day, mate. Yeah, it's certainly been quite exciting. Very exciting young list, and slowly starting to get some results. So, although probably our last game, Christmas, was just a week too late for us, but all in all, very, very happy with the first half of the year.
Yeah, it was a disappointing result against Bell Park, but let's not dwell on that because, as I say, there's been some really positive signs, and particularly in light of the fact that she's currently sit fifth, just one game out of the top bracket. And in fact, you've got Thompson upon resumption on January 6th. So that very side that is sitting ahead of you, you get the chance to challenge for that place. What has been the most exciting part of joining up with the Manifold Heights and taking on the reins there?
No, look, probably the development of quite a few people within the club. There's been some massive leaps forward. Not only on field but off field as well, with some players and some other people doing things around the club. Like I said, mate, I feel like everything is trending in the right direction for where we want to get to.
At a personal level, what experience playing and coaching did you take into the role at Manifold Heights?
Look, I've coached on and off for probably the last 6 or 7 years throughout Ballarat. It's always probably been a passion of mine. Coached some all ability stuff in Ballarat as well. That was probably the lead that really pushed me towards senior coaching.
Now, there's some very exciting developments that have recently occurred at Manifold Heights in terms of the addition of the new cricket nets. Now, a number of parties have come together to make that a reality. Tell us about that and what that does in terms of facilitating improved cricket performance at Manifold Heights.
Oh, look, I think it goes without saying the work that, Damien, Tom, the current committee, probably a really big pat on the back for Steve-O. A lot of people have done a lot of work to get this up and going. It's a huge opportunity for us as a club to really use it as a bit of a leapfrog moving forward. Really exciting with the junior structure starting to slowly take off again, which I think is huge for the clubs. I think that's important for every club in Geelong now, so we can start getting some homegrown players, and it certainly helps as far as attracting players to your club. I'd be confident in saying we've got a top 5 facility in the GCA now.
I'm speaking with Manifold Heights coach Stuart Calder, who joined the club this year. And just tell me, even more specifically, let's name names of some of the young fellas that you see emerging, developing, improving their cricket, and no doubt you've got high hopes for them as we prepare to gear up for the second half of the season.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we've found a couple of players in Adam Looker. He's really exciting. We've had, I think Millsy's going to be. I think there's just so much untapped potential with Eamon Mills, and Mitch Bartlett's come back to the club after going away for 12 months to find whatever he needed to find, and he's come back with. He just put his head down and got to work, and he's seen some results that are very encouraging. Probably pinpoint his knock for against Thompson this year. I think he got 80 odd, and it was just an innings that was well beyond his years, and very pleasing to see. Nakia as a first year captain. The developmental role for Nakia, he's going to learn that craft. That the club's invested in him heavily to do that, and I think he's developing really nicely into that role. We've got a couple of young kids who have been performing down throughout the lower grades. It's really exciting at the moment.
And it's probably a bit unfair of me to dwell on the young ones when you consider that some of the more seasoned players, like Mitch and his father's combination, obviously, Lee Bartlett, has found his cricket interest has been reinvigorated by the return of his son to the club and the fact that they've been able to join forces and make such an impression.
Oh, 100%. Like, we're lucky, there's still some older guys that are playing in our first 11 at the moment. I think they, really important roles where you're not feeding the kids to the wolves, I suppose to say, and get some nice experience around. Damien Tom's been really impressive for us this year in a role that hasn't really had the opportunity to probably do in the last 5 or 6 years. Has bat up the top of the order, and he's done an amazing role. I look back to a Bannockburn game, Lee played an innings that guided us home, and that's the importance of having experience throughout your side. It's all good and well to invest heavily in the youth, but you do need to surround it with some experience, and not only good cricketers, but good quality people as well.
Indeed. Well, Stuart, thank you so much for giving us a bit of your time on the Big Picture in Sport. I wish you well for the remainder of the season. And, of course, we do resume on January 6th. That is that game against against Thompson. Not Alexander Thompson, but against Thompson. And it should be a cracking contest, playing for 4th spot. Wish you well. Thanks so much for joining me.
Thank you very much.
That's Stuart Calder there from the Manifold Heights Sharks. I'll be back with more on the Big Picture in Sport. You're on 96.3, the heart of Geelong and the Surf Coast.